An Emmy-winning actor has boarded James Gunn's DCU as a major Justice League hero. Meet the first 4 leading superheroes cast for James Gunn's DCU, some of whom may one day join the new Justice League. The DCU will officially open its doors in summer 2025 with Superman, in which the leading Man of Steel will be joined by a host of other superheroes. Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, and a Green Lantern are all on the docket for Superman, which will include at least 7 main superheroes. After a group of questionable individuals and monsters assemble in Creature Commandos in December 2024, DC Studios will introduce its inaugural superhero on July 11, 2025 in Superman, debuting David Corenswet as the new Clark Kent. Corenswet will take over the reins from the DCU's Henry Cavill after roles in Pearl, Twisters, and more. The actor will bring to life a new Superman who brings some much-needed hope to a world already filled with superheroes. Going beyond his solo debut, Superman ought to be a leading figure in the DCU and possibly the face of the franchise. Fans should expect to see him back in sequels, Justice League events, and perhaps other smaller crossovers. Millie Alcock found stardom as the young Rhaenyra Targaryen in House of the Dragon, and that helped her win another flagship role at Warner Bros. As the Girl of Steel who will lead a solo outing in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Based on Tom King's comic series of the same name, this Supergirl was raised on a chunk of the destroyed Krypton and watched everyone around her perish while her cousin Kal-El grew up on Earth with the Kent family. It's unclear where Alcock's Supergirl will appear beyond Woman of Tomorrow, but many are holding out hope for an appearance in 2025 Superman, setting up a movie which will release on June 26, 2026. John Cena is one of the few lead superheroes who will stick around from the old DCU in this new universe. The WWE star will return for Peacemaker Season 2 in 2025, although some events from season may first not be canon to the new DCU. Fans should expect Cena's Peacemaker to act similarly to before, even in this new universe. Still, it wouldn't be surprising if his past interactions with the Justice League were wiped from existence or altered to include different characters. Coming off Peacemaker Season 1, the seasoned killer may continue his more heroic turn in the sophomore season and future projects. Perhaps he will even further his seemingly blossoming new romance with Emilia Harcourt. After a search that reportedly included MCU star Josh Brolin and, rumored, A-list actors such as Ewan McGregor, Chris Pine, Timothy Olyphant, and Matthew McConaughey, the DCU has found its Hal Jordan in Friday Night Lights' Kyle Chandler. The 59-year-old Emmy winner will debut as the iconic Justice League hero in the HBO original series Lanterns in 2026, exploring his later years as the seasoned space cop trains up a recruit to the Green Lantern Corps, John Stewart. Following reports that Chandler's contract does not include a component for future movies beyond Lanterns, many have theorized the DCU's Hal Jordan will perish in his HBO debut, paving the way for John Stewart to be the primary Green Lantern. Nathan Fillion is Guy Gardner in the DCU reboot. As Lanterns is reportedly set to film in early 2025 and Kyle Chandler has filled the Hal Jordan role, next up for the DCU will be casting John Stewart, who will co-lead the HBO series before likely becoming the franchise's main Green Lantern. While Booster Gold has yet to be officially cast for the DCU ahead of leading an HBO series, Eternals and Silicon Valley star Kumail Nanjiani has been heavily rumored for the role, pending confirmation from DC Studios. Logan director James Mangold has signed on to helm and scribe Swamp Thing with a leading role yet to be filled. However, the gothic horror flick may be a ways down the line with Mangold expected to complete his Star Wars movie first. On the Dark Knight front, the focus right now may be on bringing Robert Pattinson back for the Batman Part 2, but James Gunn will soon be looking to cast his own Bruce and Damian Wayne for the Brave and the Bold. That hunt will likely also involve casting other members of the Bat family such as Nightwing, Batgirl, and other Robins, some of whom will carry into other projects such as the reported Teen Titans movie. The ensemble flick has yet to be confirmed by DC Studios since The Hollywood Reporter revealed its existence, but that will leave plenty of open roles for young heroes such as Raven, Starfire, Beast Boy, Nightwing, Robin, and more. Speaking of ensemble castings, although James Gunn has already found one member of the Authority in Maria Gabriela de Faria as the engineer, many members of that team are still to be cast before their movie. And those are just the superheroes confirmed to lead projects. As if the Snyderverse couldn't get deader, many roles James to be Gunn filled on top of that, including his newest DCU casting. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Fans of Zack Snyder's original plans for the DCU have been dead in the ground long before James Gunn joined as co-CEO of DC Studios and ushered in the DCU. It only started to become deader with every consecutive recast, the biggest being Henry Cavill's recast by David Corenswet as Superman. Before the release of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, Gunn addressed Momoa's future as Aquaman and his desire to play Lobo, stating that, "We won't have an actor playing two different roles." He suggested that Momoa had to make a choice, and it seems he finally did. It was officially announced that Jason Momoa will play Lobo in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, Deadline, which means, per Gunn's rule, Momoa can no longer return as Aquaman in the DCU. This marks the third final nail in the coffin of the Snyderverse after Henry Cavill's Superman and Ben Affleck's Batman recasts. Not to mention the unlikelihood of Gal Gadot returning as Wonder Woman. It's also possible that the DCU's new Flash won't be Barry Allen anymore but Wally West, making Ezra Miller's return as the Speedster even more unlikely after the Flash bombed with fans, critics, and at the box office. So, that's even 5 potential nails. This may have been in the works since January 2023, when Jason Momoa issued that cryptic message about his DC future during the impending reboot. He certainly seemed overjoyed with the news, and what better news than playing one of his favorite comic book characters? James Gunn's role for Lobo in Woman of Tomorrow. What's funny about Momoa joining Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow isn't just that it's another nail in a long line of nails that is the Snyderverse coffin, but that Lobo was originally intended to be a part of Tom King's Woman of Tomorrow comic from the beginning. According to Word Balloon, via comicbook.com, King initially pitched his book to be a team-up with Lobo and Supergirl but was told by his editors to take Lobo out of the story. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, began as me pitching a Lobo/Supergirl book, and it was my editor S., Brittany Holzer and Jamie Rich, who were like, "No, take Lobo out and make Supergirl the Rooster Cogburn character." Lobo's role in the film adaptation of King's comic can't be the Rooster Cogburn character, since that's Supergirl's role with the Madeline Ross character being taken by Eve Ridley's Ruthie. It's more likely than not that, being a deadly bounty hunter in the comics, Lobo will be hired by Krem to fight Supergirl. In the original comic, Kara's final conflict was with the pirates Kerm has joined, who proved to be a feeble threat to her. So, having Lobo on Kerm's payroll would provide a far more deadly opposition for Supergirl in her way of Kerm. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow will be released in theaters on June 26, 2026. New photos reveal the DCU's final Justice League crossover before DC reboot. New photos reveal the DCU's final Justice League crossover before DC reboot. Is Aquaman 3 with Timothée Chalamet real or fake? Release speculation explained. Is Aquaman 3 with Timothée Chalamet real or fake? Release speculation explained. James Gunn just cast the 4th lead superhero in the new DCU. James Gunn just cast the 4th lead superhero in the new DCU. In this article, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Release date. About the author, Pierre Chanliot. Pierre Chanliot